guys, this is Tanuja here, doing a live session with you. It's been a while and been busy with something or the other at work or at home. We were celebrating Diwali in the last week, so it was quite an exciting time. Lots of parties and good food and dressing up. And I got some henna done. A friend of mine did that, and it's something I really love. So I was enjoying all the festivities, besides, of course, being busy with other stuff. So today I wanted to talk about resisting change, and I'll give it a couple of minutes and see if somebody else is joining us before I dive deep into this topic. It's something that has come up recently in a lot of conversations with my clients, not just the would-be clients, but also my existing clients. And we've been talking about, making changes and how hard it is to do these changes and to follow along and see results, and to stick to them in long enough to see the results. So that's what I wanted to talk about today, because I think it's an important thing to address and talk about, because our success, when we want to achieve something that is different from this current state that we are in, depends on how much we are able to stick to the changes that we want to do. And if we're resisting those changes, then obviously it's going to be harder. So for those of you who don't know me and who've just stumbled upon this live session, my name is Tanuja Dabir. I'm a registered holistic nutritionist, and I help transform stressed, on-the-go busy bees from being tired and overwhelmed and being body shy to feeling energetic, confident, and gorgeous. I empower my clients basically to take charge of their own health so that they can enjoy eating without restriction, without dieting or deprivation, and feel energized and look amazing from the inside out. And I do so without, you spending hours in the kitchen, and making things really sustainable and with simple, easy steps. So that's a little bit about me. I'm also a public speaker and a writer, I just love what I do. My own personal journey has brought me to this point where I just love helping others who are in a similar situation and going through their struggles with health, and who want to change things around. So as I'm talking about change, let's talk about why we resist change. So if I ask you at this time, is there any area in your life where you would like to bring about change? It could be anything from, health, relationships, work, anything else, finances. If I asked you, was there anything that you would want to change in your life at this time? What would your answer be? I'm guessing most likely it'll be a yes, right? And it doesn't matter how many areas you want to change. Let's for the time being, for this session, think of the topmost thing that you wanted to change. Like, what is number one on your priority list that you would like to change? And then once you've come up with that answer, how long has it been that you have been wanting this change? How long? Has it been a few days that you're thinking that this is an area where I need to bring about change, I need to do something about it? Or has it been a few weeks, or a few days, or a few weeks, or a few months, sometimes a few years? And the answer, generally for most people, is that they have been thinking about it long enough for it to have just lingered on, right? And they haven't taken action. And if you're one of them, you will recognize what I'm saying, because there are certain things that we want to do, and we just keep thinking about it, that yes, I want to change this. I want to be this different person. I want to bring about this habit, or quit this habit, or, start a new habit. And yet you've not done it. So let's kind of dive in a little bit deeper and see why we resist change. So it is like the human brain, and its whole job is to protect us, our brains are supposed to protect us. And changing things is hard because we resist that change because our brains are telling us that there is something unknown about it, there is something uncertain about it. You are stepping out of your comfort zone. And the brain doesn't like that. It doesn't want to do that. So because our brains are like our protective mechanisms, they want to keep us in that, it wants to keep you in that comfort zone. It wants you to not step out of the boundaries and try something new because that's where you're safe. And that's a human necessity, to be safe. So anytime we're thinking about change, we're thinking, oh my gosh, now I have to do something that I'm not used to, which makes me uncomfortable. Or you could be fearful that, I might be trying something which I don't know the outcome of, or I don't know how hard it's going to be. So there could be several reasons. But the whole premise is you are resisting change because it's hard, because it is bringing up unknown to you, and that brings up fears and a whole lot of other things. So let's take the example in terms of, say, diet, right? I deal, because I specialize in digestion, I deal with a lot of people who have food sensitivities and who need to give up certain foods in order to give their digestion a rest and in order to give their stomachs a break from those foods so that they can heal, get stronger, and then, eventually they can probably go back to those foods. But at the initial thought of giving away the foods that they're used to eating regularly is quite daunting. It's like, oh my gosh, can I do that change? Can I give up those foods? I don't think so. And if I do, give these foods up, what else am I going to eat? How is it going to be possible for me to sustain myself? I don't have the time. I can't afford to eat healthy. I just don't know what to do. There are all these questions that come up in your mind, right? It's daunting and scary. Hey, Sasha. Yeah, you're right. It's so daunting and scary that we just don't understand how we can proceed. And that's again our brain telling us, resist that change because you are not going to be in your comfortable zone. So that becomes really tricky for us. And we almost start to not go ahead, even though we want to, with doing that change. We are resisting ourselves. We are saying, okay, it's probably too much, and let me think of doing that at a later time. But that later time actually never comes because, every time you think about making that change, you will go back and that thinking process starts and the brain, is back in its protection mechanism and you're self-defending yourself. Not for the good, obviously, because you need that change. You need to resist those foods, or you need to bring about those or change those habits, develop new ones, give up old ones. And it is scary, it is daunting, it is out of your comfort zone. But let me ask you this. How long can you go on suffering like this without making a change? If you've already done so for a few days or weeks or a few years, aren't you fed up of that? Isn't it taking away life from you? Like, are you living normally, right? Let's take the example of gluten or dairy. It is so prevalent in our society. It's very hard to go out and find foods that are not rich in dairy or gluten. And these are some of the foods that people have to step away from if they're healing their digestion. So they come up with this question, so when I'm going out, what do I eat? The answer lies in preparing yourself in advance as to how you can deal with, eating out or even eating at home. And then you're like, oh, I don't have the time. I have my job, I have this. Let me ask you this though. What is more important than you feeling healthy? What is more important than you feeling energized? Nothing is, right? And you will continue to live with that pain. You will continue to suffer. You will continue to have all the symptoms that you have, whether it's heartburn or bloating or gas or indigestion or aches and pains in the body. These are symptoms of food sensitivities too. You can get migraines. How is that serving you right now? yes, you're in your comfort zone, yes, you're not making the change, but at the same time, you're not living your life fully. Are you? If you're stuck to the washroom, if you're sick in the bed, if you're not able to go out and enjoy life, the way you want to, how is that habit serving you? And anytime I think we want to make a change, the need for change has to be bigger than the need for the pain to continue. Let me say that again. The need for change has to be bigger than the need to continue living with the pain. And only then you will make a change. Because till the time you just keep accepting that yes, you are in pain or you have this discomfort and you can continue living with it, if you are accepted it as a reality, then you will never change. The only time you will change is when you say to yourself, enough is enough. I will not let myself suffer anymore. And it's a hard thing to do, but once you decide it, there is no going back, because it's almost like a non-negotiable. If somebody told, we all have values. Some people like to work hard, some people's values being truthful and honest. So take that example. If your value is to be honest and somebody asks you to be dishonest, it's a non-negotiable. You will not do it. So same way, if you feel that you are in a position where you've had enough and it's a non-negotiable, and that whatever change you need to make, you have to do it, you will do it and you will stick with it. And it all comes with that internal dialogue. It comes with, explaining to yourself, not once, not twice, maybe 100 times a day, that I need to do this. This is where I want to be. And I understand, because I've gone through this myself. I've had food sensitivities. I suffered from IBS. I've suffered from, I am a natural worrier by nature. So it's very normal for us to have those dialogues. And you just have to talk yourself out of it. You have to be very mindful. You have to be very conscious of the story that you're telling yourself, because that story is what might be stopping you from achieving success, from making a change, from being your best. So really make a very mindful note of the thoughts that you're having, of the conversation you're having with yourself. And every time you're struggling with something, you ask yourself, by staying in the same state, by not making the decision to change, how am I harming myself? Or how am I stopping myself from living my best life? It really sounds very repetitive, but it is a repetitive process when you have to tell yourself continuously, again and again, that I can do this. This is for my own good. It's like, when people want to release weight, for example, they're always coming up and telling me, I can't stay away from chocolates, or I find to stay away from desserts, and what am I supposed to do if everybody else in the family is eating this, and you're asking me to stay away from them. But then my question to you is, when you are picking up something and you're eating something, are you asking yourself, is this serving me or is this harming me? Right? The next time you're supposed to stay away from a food and you pick it up and you eat it, ask yourself this: if I eat this, am I going to feel good 5 minutes down the line, 15 minutes down the line, next day? If not, is the convenience or the pleasure of eating this right now, is that quick fix helping me in the long term or not? So that is really what I wanted to talk to you about today, is that resisting change is really all a mindset. And we need to work on ourselves, on our thinking processes, and the stories we tell ourselves all the time. It is a gradual process. Change happens, over time. It's especially when it comes to diet or lifestyle or exercise, it will not happen over time. But if you give up every time you start or even think about it, then you'll never reach success. So, you want to get from point A to point B, you have to start walking or taking the bus or transit or something. If you just keep standing at point A, you will never reach point B, right? However much you wish. So take that first step, do what's necessary. If you need accountability, if you need support, reach out. I'd be happy to talk to you. I'd be happy to, address your concerns and give you some tips as to how you will be able to, incorporate those changes in your life. It's all about you taking charge of your own health. You can depend on others, on doctors, you can blame situations and people and your work and everybody else, but unless you decide that you and you only are in charge of your health, things are not going to change. And it's a decision that has to come from within you. I can pep talk you all I want, but unless you think up here that yes, it's time, things are not going to change. So I hope that little vitamin, mind vitamin, or that dose of motivation is going to propel you to take action and do something good for yourself for a change. And like I said, if you need any help, I'm here. Shoot me an email, call me there. I'll post a link to a free consult as well if you need a discovery session with me, to just go over some tips that you can start following right away. I'd be happy to do that as well. There are plenty of free resources out there everywhere. Like, just turn to Google and you'll see answers to so many questions. Knowing is good, it's the first step, but taking action is more important, right? So you can collect on information and again just sit with it and think that yes, one day I'll get to it, but things will not change. So make sure you take action, and if you need any help, I'm right here. So that was my rant for today. I really, really hope you are going to do something about it. I've seen just too much of these conversations going on around me to let it go. I care too much to let it just, turn a blind eye towards it. So I want you to feel healthy. I want you to feel energetic. I want you to feel your best and to be able to enjoy life. We just live once. So enjoy it and be your best. So I'll talk to you soon. Hopefully I won't take such a long break again from my next live session, but take care. And oh yeah, I'm actually hosting another webinar on beating IBS naturally. So if you've got diarrhea, constipation, IBS, this is the webinar that you want to attend. It's happening next Thursday on the 10th at 6:30 p.m. PST, and I'll be posting a link to that as well. So make sure you sign up, and we'll talk about some cool tips on how you can take care of your digestion and beat IBS naturally. So that's it for me for now. Take care and talk to you soon. Bye-bye.